What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast. That was so number 223 for the third time this evening. Uh, I'm your host, Kevin, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking all about Xbox's future hardware has been leaked. They might be buying some Ubisoft IP. Is the Oblivion Remake coming? And they're going hard and fast on AI. Before we get to that and more, I got to introduce my co-host, the man who shares a birthday with Chrono Trigger, because I got to get it in there. I want that officially documented. JamPackSam, how are you, my friend?
What's up, man? I'm doing well. I have not had a troubleshooting experience in quite a while, so it was fun to walk through mentally how to set up OBS and talk through YouTube stuff. But hey, we're here, man. And I also had no idea that I shared a birthday with Chrono Trigger, so that's pretty neat.
Yes, I see Rick Davis in the chat. We are doing this through OBS, like the desktop app, so you won't see the usual background, but hopefully you could, hear us, and that's kind of the most important part of a podcast.
Yeah, it's very minimal. I got to be real with you. I was expecting the intro music whenever you're like, all right, I'm going to go live. And then typically I have my 20 seconds of TikTok scrolling before I hear the intro music stop. And then I do my like
Mhm.
salutation. Nope. You were just like, hey, what's going on, everybody? And I was like, yeah.
I don't have the intro file set up on the like
Yeah.
basically what this has taught me is I need to set up like as I have the background in here, I just don't have like our cameras captured. I don't have the
Right.
music ready to go. So like I can get all that and I probably should for situations like this.
Yeah, probably, but I'll tell you, I was talking before the show started, so I got a Rodecaster Duo for my
Hmm.
birthday. I like split it with my family because they were gonna buy something, and I was like, no, just get this thing that's gonna make my audio sound better, or like help me out a little bit. I have air horns now,
I
so I
can't
mean,
hear
like
them.
you can't hear them. Dang, that's unfortunate. Anyways, I heard an air horn, so I'm just gonna let you guys know there's an air horn playing, and we have sensors and everything. So lots of potential here whenever I get this integrated fully, but nonetheless, simple show tonight, which I appreciate.
Yeah, simple. Yep. Well, I'm excited to chat with you. I'm excited you got some new tech. That's always
Yeah.
exciting. I also have some new tech, although nobody can see it
Ooh.
because I got this nice 1080p 244 hertz monitor that I
Very
was talking
nice.
about. So I had to redo my whole desk because I was like, this will not fit where I wanted it to fit because it was much larger than I expected. But man, let me tell you, it looks so good playing games on this. Like I didn't know what I was missing playing at like just 60 frames because my other monitor, which my other 1080p is over here now. This will be the side monitor. Got rid of that 720 piece of crap. But I'm playing a game I'll talk about, and it's like 120 plus constantly. And I'm like, oh, it's so
Yeah.
nice. It's so now I'm just like, do I ignore the Switch 2 and get a graphics card instead?
I mean, here's I don't know enough about your PC, but it's like you're gonna get bottlenecked at some point
Yeah, at
along the
some
way,
point,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, so that's what I hate about PC gaming is like right now I'm living the dream because I got the new CPU in December, I got the new GPU last week, so now I've got like a fully like this is state of the art cutting edge PC. Give it 6 months, I'm gonna need something upgraded, something's gonna be inferior or whatever. Um, so like that's just the PC life. I will say I kind of feel that because I went from playing, I was trying to boot up like what was I playing? I was playing Delta Force whenever it launched last year on PC and I was getting like 20, 30 FPS. Now I throw this new card in here with like FSR and frame generation and stuff, and all of a sudden I'm getting like 240. It's crazy, man. So it's a good feeling. I understand.
yeah. No, so like I only have a 1660, so like I wouldn't go to like the mat, like a brand new crazy
Yeah.
graphics card. I'm like, what if I just get like a 30 something, like a 3070 or so, Like I
Yeah.
don't I don't think that would like just bottleneck me too much.
No, I think if you want to stay within like where you're at right now, what CPU do you have? Not to turn this into like a PC show, but
I haven't the slightest idea. Is there an easy way to tell you?
if you go into the Windows settings, which I know you're in Discord, so I don't know how you're capturing this, but if you go into
No,
the
we're good.
system, like if you go to the search bar and you type in about, then you'll be able to go to about and it'll have processor
Oh,
name.
about your PC.
Like mine is named Goliath and it says AMD Ryzen 7 9800 or 9800 X3D.
I have an AMD Ryzen 5 3600 6 core processor, 3.6 gigahertz is my processor.
Bit of age, bit of age.
Okay.
However, I don't think it would be because you could get a 3070 on Facebook Marketplace for like 150 bucks, probably. Maybe less than that. I don't know, but
That's
it'd
pretty
probably be
cheap.
worthwhile to. It'd probably be worthwhile to upgrade from your 1660. I think it's about time.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't even care 1080p, but like, just give me, more frames. I don't get
Yeah,
more
I
frames.
mean, I would recommend a 30 something because I put the 3060 Ti on my fiance's computer, which is my old computer,
Hmm.
and like she can play whatever she wants on 1080p, nothing crazy settings, and not feel constrained really.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So that's a thought bumping around in my mind. Like, when I sell the old Switch, do I just take that money, see what I can do with that, and then hold off on the new Switch?
I mean, you know how I am. I'm not gonna buy this Switch, dude. Like, did you see
What?
Pokemon? Did you see what Pokemon looks like, dude? I'm not gonna buy that. Why would I want that? I don't want that. That's a
Pokemon
waste of my
Za,
money.
man. Pokemon Za.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
All right. Well, let's get into the show proper, everyone. This is Project X Talk. We are an Xbox podcast, and we're live every Thursday right here on youtube.com/save the game media. If you can't catch us live, we post every Friday morning on your favorite audio platform of choice. While you're over there, make sure to drop us that 5-star review. But even more, all right, I need your help. We are 9 subscribers on YouTube away from 1,000. If you could come
Ooh.
over, drop us a sub if you haven't already, that would be greatly appreciated so we can finally hit that milestone. If you want to support us even further than that, get early audio access to Save the Game Media content and exclusive bonus content, head over to patreon.com/Save the Game Media. Choose the tier that's right for you, like our current supporters. So thank you to Fabulous Brianna, Rick Davis, Chad, Ellery Wood Parker III, Silkenit, Lee Navarro, the Xbox Expansion Pass, Dave Harp, David Hotwright, Lillian, Marcus O'Neill, Brendan Myers, Nikolai at Night, Lindsay, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother. Thank you all for your support. I butchered that. That's the first time I've ever butchered the Patreon reading. All right, I'm throwing off my game tonight. All right, and I saw Sam pop away for a second there, and I got worried.
Well, I just realized I am reversed. Why am I reversed?
No, I'm
Why is the X?
reversed. I'm reversed as
No,
well.
no. See, my Xbox sign is over here now. Like it's normally over here, but it's on the other side on my thing. What's going on? Oh, now we're so now we're good. I see it's changed on the stream.
Oh, I don't know about that. You've looked the same for me.
Okay,
But
I don't
my
know what's going
camera
on.
is bad. Like, my flag is normally on the left side and it's on the
Oh,
right
see, you
side.
look the same for me, but I look different. Oh
Okay.
man. Yeah.
All right.
Anyways,
Interesting. Interesting.
yeah,
Oh
we're
man.
discovering things about Discord and Streamlabs tonight.
Yeah, we're in mirror land, everyone. But
We are.
let's get the show underway. Sam, what have you been playing the last week, my friend?
Yeah, dude. So I have been playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. I did get the review code early. I have been playing it since last Wednesday, and I cannot say anything about it until March the 18th. So whenever we reconvene next week, I can dig into my thoughts on Assassin's Creed Shadows. But yeah, man, I've been going pretty hard on that. I don't know how many hours I'm into it, but spending
Mm,
a whole lot of time with it.
I don't know. Like, it's weird because I'm not, like, personally excited to play the game, but I'm excited to hear everyone's thoughts about it because I feel like it's gonna be a big thing, like, when the reviews drop. And I know you can't say anything, so I'm just
Yeah.
spouting off at the mouth here. But I feel like this is gonna be something that people are eagerly anticipating. Like, is it good? Is it bad? So I'm excited for that conversation next week.
I will tell you that I have not been this excited to make content, and it's not saying positive or negative, but it's
Hmm.
one of those things where I'm like, I can't wait to share my thoughts and then also like echo what other people are saying so that we can have this big conversation. Which also on the flip side of it, whenever a big game like this comes out, whether it's Star Wars Outlaws or anything, there's that Ubisoft conversation that comes with it. So like I'm kind of dreading that element of it because it's like the Ubisoft element of it, but I love talking about games, so I'm excited to share my thoughts on Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yes, yes, and I did. Yeah, no, I was reaching out to our man over at IGN, the other Sam, and I was like, "Are you playing Shadows?" He's like, "I'm not." And I'm like, "Ooh, okay, all
Ooh.
right." So can't get him on the discussion, but he'll be back at some point. He'll be back at some point, everyone. Maybe I'll reach out to someone else that's playing Shadows. I know quite a few people playing the game. All right.
Yep. Yeah, it seems like they've been putting it out a good bit. But outside of that, I also got sent some mouse pads from SteelSeries, which I did a video on earlier this week. They put out a new line of stuff. And so with that, I have been leveraging the new PC to play some Black Ops 6. And
Mm-hmm.
man, let me tell you, going from the Xbox controller in a living room on a 4K TV to a ultra wide monitor with a mouse and a keyboard and like, kind of the setup that you want whenever you're playing competitively. I went on a tear on Saturday, dude. Like I booted this thing up and I was just absolutely dominating the lobbies. And then the skill-based matchmaking kicked in. Like immediately I felt when I hit 5 matches, I was like, "Oh, I'm now getting placed with people that are more than 10 years old."
Hmm.
Like I could feel the shift in it. So yeah, I've been playing some Black Ops 6. I'm going to get back on it after this, either that or play some Shadows, but yeah, I've been playing that on my PC, so it's been a good time.
Yeah, but how many skins have you bought? Or what, like, what are you rocking? Teenage Mutant? No, no Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You don't feel like the $20?
No, so I am grinding the TMNT stuff because I think it got extended by a week or there's a week left in it, but I did unlock the Foot Clan member, which is the free thing that you get. So I have the Foot Clan thing. I don't even think I've changed the skin because you don't see your person, so like I don't think
Hmm.
about it. And this is like me just wanting to play something, and I'm burned out on Halo after shockingly 4 years of it. So like I think I'm just it's installed. I'm just putting it off to the side and playing Black Ops.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. It's one of those things. I uninstalled Halo a while ago. It's because it literally just been sitting on my Xbox for so long, and like I got with a new one, I downloaded it again. I was like, I don't know why I'm downloading this. I haven't played Halo in ages, but like, there's always the odd chance you just boot it up, you know?
I think that on the Series S, I had like a personal rule where no matter what happened, I would keep the Master Chief Collection installed, just out of like, it's like you have the altar in your home where it's like you can't touch that. Like that's where we go for religious reasons, and like that's what my Master Chief Collection experience is, where I have it there just in case I want to play SWAT for 20 minutes, and then I go on to whatever else I've got.
He prays to the Master Chief helmet, the Needler behind him. He just
Yeah, I hold it up. I've got a Master Chief helmet above me over that way, and then I put that on, and then I wave the needler around.
That's an awesome Needler. That's one of my favorites back there.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's Nerf, actually. It's a Nerf gun.
Oh,
Yeah, it shoots darts. It has purple darts in it.
that's the coolest thing Nerf's ever made.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. But what have you been playing? Enough about me with
Yeah.
things I can't talk about. What are you up to?
I've been playing a lot of games. So I've played about 21 hours of Monster Hunter Wild so far.
Mm,
I just beat chapter 5, which here's the thing. Chapter 3 is really like the main story. Like you beat that and it's like, oh, okay, I beat the story. And then 4 and 5 is like you're in the post game. And then chapter
mm.
6 and beyond is like you're in the end game now. So I just beat chapter 5, fought an all right monster. Some of the like there's only been, I'd say, like a few fights that I'd be like, oh, this is difficult. Like I'm having we're struggling here. Like there's only one that we've had like a full wipe on, so not that difficult of a game. Again, when we're in the combat where we're fighting the monsters, I'm like, okay, this is fun. Like I'm having a good time, although it does cramp my hand a little bit because like I'm using the dual blades and I'm really just like
Mm.
mashing two buttons over and over again, and then I'm like, oh god, like my hand's cramping up. But it's fine. I don't know how much longer I got. Like I'm gonna beat chapter 6, then after that, it's very. We'll see how much longer I can take playing Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I still have no intention of ever playing this just because
That's
it's not
fine.
my kind of game.
Yeah.
But I'm proud of you for grinding through it because I know it's also not really your kind of game, but you were gifted it, so you feel
Yeah.
compelled to continue on with it.
Well, playing with my friends, that's the main reason. If there were other multiplayer games, which, there aren't much. We hop into Phasmophobia every once in a while still, which I think that game is a blast. But in terms of like group multiplayer, it's pretty slim pickings these days.
Yeah, I know that. Have you looked at Repo, the new Repo game that's flying out
I
over there?
have no idea what that is.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that. Maybe that's a post show topic. But yeah, Repo is blowing up right now. It's only $10, and it is crazy.
I saw Power Wash Simulator 2 got announced.
It did. I have that on my list to talk about. I am very excited to see the fact that they are continuing to do Power Wash Sim, and it's cool because remember a couple of months back they made that announcement where they were like, "Hey, we're discontinuing support for old versions of it in the VR version." I think is what
Mm-hmm.
it was.
Yeah.
And they were like, "We have to prioritize." So this is what they were prioritizing of like, "Hey, do we want to continue doing VR or do we want to do Power Wash Sim too?" Which was the right choice.
Yes. And yeah, they had co-op and like full campaign support. So yeah, pretty
Super
cool.
cool.
Rick Davis, speaking of multiplayer games, Kevin likes, did you guys see another live service game pulled a Concord and got canceled 2 weeks after launch and the dev getting shuttered? Did you play that one too, Kev? I don't know what game he's talking about.
It is the one that I did an ad for 2 weeks ago, which was Spectre Divide. So
Oh,
yeah, Spectre
really?
Divide shut down. Yeah, so I could talk about that a little bit. I'm bummed about it because whenever I went hands on with it, that was a legitimately really good time. And I know like ad whatever, you can take my word or not, but like I had a very good time with that game. And as somebody who doesn't really like a lot of the competition that's in that space, like I really enjoyed the dual body mechanic of Spectre Divide, but it's such a crowded space right now. You know, like no matter how cool the idea is, how do you break through the noise of like every game launching and having a similar kind of vibe to it? So that's my take on it. But it sucks to see a cool game with a unique idea, at least in my opinion, shut down.
Yeah, I just pulled it up on Steam. It said it's a genre evolving, free to play 3v3 tactical shooter driven by duality. Duality to control two bodies in real time. I mean, it's neat. Like that's a concept I haven't heard of. It does have pretty bad reviews, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it was a mixed thing. If you go in the comments of like any video on their channel, they've got a very dedicated hardcore group of core fans, and then it also got flamed by the people that are like, I mean, what game doesn't these days? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's a
That's
bummer
a
to see.
shame. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. All right. Yeah. That's true, Tom. The day before closed down faster. That is fat. 3 days for that one.
And looking back on the past 5 years of me making content, that was the wildest week of potentially my entire content creation career because I went from like, oh, the day before is finally out to, oh no. And then like it was just a stretch of god awful announcements made about the studio. It was crazy, man. Uh,
Uh, uh, what was it? And then he came back and started like a Kickstarter for like another
sure
fake
did.
game. Yeah. I remember
Sure
that.
did. Yeah, I made a whole bunch of videos on all that. Man, it was just embarrassing. It was real bad.
Rick, I've played Fortnite. It's still going strong, unfortunately. Although I did play the when I played Fortnite originally, it was the PvE like tower defense game. So I guess I killed
Ooh.
that.
Yeah, I remember playing that whenever it was in beta, and I was like, I'm never playing this again. And here we are. You know, how long's it been? 10 years? I don't know how long Fortnite's been around.
Okay. Well, apart from Monster Hunter Wilds, I have been playing a game called Trepang 2, Trepang Squared. Again, I got this free in the Discord over in the XEP Discord. I think it was Korkenstein that dropped that. But this is a first person shooter. It gives me kind of Doom meets Fear vibes.
Hmm.
Because it has like a supernatural element to it. But you can't, there's no aim down sights. It's like a boomer shooter kind of feel, but like it looks gorgeous, runs super well. That's the game I'm playing. Like again, 120 to 140 FPS, like lots
Yeah.
of gore. It's difficult, I will say that. So like I had to drop the difficulty a lot because there are just sections where I'm like, I can't beat this. There's way too many enemies. I'm getting destroyed. But I the whole time I'm playing it, I'm like, I think Sam would like this game.
I am looking at it right now, very interested in this. I
Yeah.
will absolutely be getting this. Also, Steam Deck verified, which doesn't shock me with the way you're describing the performance, but this looks sick.
Yeah, no, yeah, it runs really well. It's not like and it looks pretty nice too, but like it's not super graphically intense. Like there's not tons of particle effects everywhere, but like lots of blood, just simple environments, but really fun game.
Yeah, it looks like slow motion is involved as well. You know me
Yes.
in slow motion. I love
Yes.
some slow
So
motion.
there's two abilities you have with the bumpers. One, you can cloak yourself because it has like you can sneak up and stealth kill people, but you
Yeah.
can also grab them and then you can do three options. You can just snap their neck, you can throw them at enemies to like take a bunch out and like knock them to the ground, then shoot them all, or you can stick a grenade to him and then chuck them and blow
That's
them all
sick.
up at once. And I was like, that is awesome. And then it has slow mo feature where you just everything goes to slow motion, and that's just like, oh, I'm gonna get some sweet headshots right now.
Yeah, it's very nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm definitely adding that to the list to pick up during the summer sale, without a doubt.
yeah, that game's dope. That game's dope. I'm gonna probably roll credits on that tomorrow, if not this weekend. But yeah, it's not a long game, but there is optional like side missions if you just want to like go and shoot more things in it.
I do like shooting things.
Yeah. And the last game I've been playing is Split Fiction,
Yeah,
which
tell me about it.
can I just say who knew Game of the Year was coming in March, everyone? Oh,
Wow, look at this
baby.
guy.
This game is amazing. Oh my lord. So if you like It Takes Two, this is everything that like was good about that dialed up. The gameplay is improved, the level design is improved. It feels like the platforming feels better, the movement feels better, and it's just so creative what they're doing over at Hazelight Studios. Like I don't know how they think of the levels that we're playing through. There's one, and I don't want to spoil it. There was one we played last night that you turn into something so absurd, and then the final boss you have to fight. I was cracking up the whole time, especially because some of his attacks, like if you knew what you turned into, they're so funny. And it started out as like this cute whimsical thing too, which is like it
Yeah.
just takes a tonal shift, kind of like if you played It Takes Two, the elephant scene, and that's all I'll
Yep.
say. All right, so got that kind of tonal shift going on. I was like, they know what they're doing over here. And what I like about the game too, if from an achievement hunting standpoint, is that the achievements aren't just like, oh, beat this level. It's always like do unique things in the level, like feed your dragon, or what's in one level you turn into a monkey, and it's like
Interesting.
push someone on a swing as you're the monkey and send them flying into the abyss. It's always like weird stuff that like, why would anyone be doing this, But dude, it's so good. I absolutely love Split Fiction. I think the story's pretty good. I think the character's really good. And the gameplay is just top tier.
So are you playing with your fiance? Is that the setup?
I'm playing with my brother right now. My fiance is interested. I'm a little concerned because I think it's harder than It Takes Two, and
Mhm.
we didn't really like we tried It Takes Two. We didn't get very far. It's one of those things like she really has only played like 2D platformers, so like the
Yeah.
3D moving the camera she kind of struggles with. We're gonna give it another try though because she is interested in trying this one.
Yeah, it looks really good. Now, I have not played it. I've made videos on it because they've hit like 2 million sales in a week, which is awesome to see. Because what I like about this game, as somebody on the outside looking in, is that you have so many studios that are trying to make something for everybody. Like they're always trying to put out as many, like Fortnite, where you've got all these different experiences that are catering to all these different types of players. But then you've got Hazelight that's like, hey, we're going to be the co op studio that makes really unique co op games. And you can make it as easy as possible to get involved. Friend pass, all this other stuff, $50. Like it's a really accessible kind of game, but it's going to be something unique and it does its own thing. And I like the fact that that kind of thing exists. So, it's probably not something I'm going to play just because I don't really play with people. Like I'm just a solo
Mhm.
player all of the time. But I love the fact that this is doing so well and that people are enjoying it. And it's just really nice to see.
Well, if you do ever do want to play, I got a free friend pass. Just hit me up.
Yes.
I'll play. I'll play with you. So
I might take you up on that.
you don't even have to buy it. I'll just play with you.
I might take you up on that. We'll see
Yeah,
what happens.
yeah, yeah. I see Luke over at XCP calling me out. Says game of the year was Avowed. Certainly not my game of the year, Luke. I don't even know if that's in my top 5 right now. To be honest, I think Ninja Gaiden Black 2 might be my like second favorite game I've played this year.
Interesting.
Yeah, I really liked it. Oh man, it was so good. I loved
Yeah.
that game. It was so good.
I need to get back to that one. It's installed, it's ready. It's just going to be the thing that I get back to after Assassin's Creed Shadows, probably. But I will say, Avowed is probably my favorite game of the year so far. But like that's from what I've played. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I have rolled credits on that I finished completely because I was playing a lot of live service stuff leading up to the release season because I knew that I'd be too busy to go back and finish. Like Steel Rising is just chilling on my console right now. Will I ever get back to it? TBD. But yeah, I was just bouncing around to stuff. But Avowed's up there for me. I really enjoyed Avowed.
Yeah, listen, I liked Avowed. I just have some qualms with it. Is all. That's
Yeah, understandable.
it's certainly not one of my. It's good. That's all. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. I'm
Mhm.
excited for the
Mhm.
Outer Worlds too, though. Like,
Yeah.
give me that Obsidian. I'm with you.
What about some Oblivion? Hmm?
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Ah.
I got some thoughts, but that is what we've been playing, everyone. So why don't we jump into the actual news for this week? So story number 1: Xbox's console and handheld future has been leaked. On Monday, Jez Corden of Windows Central published a report regarding a new PC gaming handheld coming from Xbox and a third-party partner later this year. Codenamed Keenan, the gaming handheld will reportedly be Xbox branded and come from a partner such as Asus or Lenovo. Tom Warren at The Verge backs up these reports, stating, quote, I'm being told Asus is one of the launch partners for these efforts, with an Xbox branded handheld likely to debut later this year. The handheld device will reportedly have a more Xbox feel with prominent grips and an Xbox guide style button. However, the device will not be able to play Xbox games apart from those that are Play Anywhere titles and available on PC. However, don't get discouraged by that news because both Jez Corden and Tom Warren report Xbox is continuing their efforts for a quote universal library of Xbox and PC games. The Verge specifically stating Microsoft is working on combining Windows and Xbox in a way where there is a single store of games and an easier path for game developers to build titles that span across handhelds, console-like hardware, and PCs. So I'm gonna stop there, Sam. Looks like we're going to get an Xbox partner handheld later this year. How are we feeling about that?
I am curious in the implementation, I think is where I'm at, because I think that the value of a partner handheld is the same value as a proprietary first party handheld, and it's the software that everything's running on. So like if this is booting up and it is not necessarily directly into the Windows interface, but it becomes something of an Xbox shell for the Windows experience. And you can boot up PC games and it's got that kind of like revamped experience. Maybe something that's built off of what they do with the cloud side, where like you've got that cloud kind of feel where it feels like a native experience, even though you're streaming it through a browser. Um, that's what's going to set this thing apart. And if it boots up and it is just a green Asus ROG Ally and it's got Windows on it, I don't think that's going to fit the bill. And I don't think there's really a need for that. So I think the fact that something is coming, there has to be something unique that comes alongside it. So maybe this is where you start to get kind of like that Windows is Xbox. This is an Xbox experience of that additional thing that's like Steam Big Picture mode that you could run on any PC. Like it makes it a console or it has that kind of accessible feel. So that's my question about the third party handheld is like, what is the software going to be like when this thing actually launches?
I think that's most people's question right now because I think when the initial report came out, everyone assumed that this was going to be Xbox is making this with someone else helping them like supply the hardware, and it's going to have like an Xbox UI and be able to play all your Xbox games natively. And then
Yeah.
Tom Warren was came out and was like, "Yeah, it's not really." And then Jez backed that up like, "Hey, this is kind of more of like an ROG Ally situation. Like Asus or Lenovo is going to make this." And I would almost lean towards this being like what we saw with the Lenovo Steam Deck Go
Yeah.
thing that they're doing, where as a Steam Deck branded thing, it comes with theirs, and maybe Xbox does have their OS or whatever they're integrating to make the PC experience better, ready to go when this launches. I'm not personally betting on that this year. I think this is just going to be an ROG Ally with Xbox branding and Xbox button to like bring you to their storefront instead of like the Armory crate button. I do think like maybe an Xbox handheld will come in the future that is just, hey, once we figured out that OS or the dedicated, however, universal library they're calling it, right? Which is my dream. I've said this
Yeah.
before on here, right? Like we've talked about this where I'm like, I want something where I can have you just click Xbox and every game, no matter if you're on PC, handheld, cloud, console, like there's your library, bring it with you no matter what. And it's good to know that they're moving towards that future. I just don't think we're quite there yet. And I don't think this is that handheld.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a prediction out there. I think what's going to happen with this later on down the line is that games from a certain point on are going to be Xbox Play Anywhere. And I think that's going to take buy in from like the publishing side to be able to get all these other developers on board. But I think that is going to be what happens. And then the things that are before that, or maybe if there are publishers that are like, nah, we don't want any of that, then that's where you take the cloud gaming rights and you say, okay, even if you can't play this natively, you don't get the PC version and the Xbox version. We have the Xbox version in the PC app and you stream it via the cloud. And it's technically an Xbox Series X, but it's so good, it's almost native. Like, I think that's where they're going to land because I don't see a world where they can get everything to be Xbox Play Anywhere across every title, backwards compatible all the way back to the original Xbox, all the way up until
Hmm.
whatever's next. I think there's going to be some kind of in between where, like they announced today, 1,000 games are now Xbox Play Anywhere, which is awesome. Love to see 1,000 games in that library. I don't think you're ever going to see like 10,000 games or 100,000 games. Like there's got to be some kind of concession to get as complete of a library as you can get. And as somebody who's built this entire generation in the Xbox ecosystem, I'm curious how they continue going forward, because we've seen those reports about Sarah Bond doing the backwards
Mhm.
compatibility stuff. You've seen this dedication to continuing to bring games forward. So however they can bring my library forward with me, I'm curious on the implementation of that and how holistic it feels whenever we're looking back 10 years from now and I'm trying to play whatever irrelevant game came out, because if I want to boot up Steel Rising in 10 years and I'm like, oh, I can do that, that's neat, I want to see how they do that.
Yeah, I think I know there's limitations already, like for remote play, or was it, or is it cloud streaming, like 360 games? They don't, one of those don't work, because I remember trying to do that,
Mm,
like Ally and like Alan Wake's American Nightmare, which is like a 360 title, and it wouldn't,
yeah.
like, told me like 360 games are not compatible with this. So like they have work to do with that field. I It's interesting because I'm with you there. Like I saw that 1,000 number today. I was like, ooh, we really don't have many games in this
Yeah.
service. Like maybe 20 years ago, 1,000 would be like, oh my God, that's like every Xbox game ever made. These days, you get like 100 games every week or more coming out on the store, right? Like there's so many titles that are not play anywhere. And I see the chat talking about it, but like developers will be a hard sell on that, because in their mind they're like, well, why wouldn't I just have them buy it twice? And I see Xbox thinking maybe that is the route that they're going to have to go, because you see things like Indiana Jones Avowed having that cross save with Steam, and I'm like, okay, that's a decent compromise. It's not play anywhere, but it's closer than what we had before. Like, I really do hope that is something going forward, like for every Xbox game. Like, hey, you want it on Steam? We're going to let you have your save from Xbox and bring it over there. So it's like a little compromise between the two platforms, even if we can't get to, hey, you buy it on our console and then you get it every single place.
Yeah, the more walls you can tear down, the better off you'll be. Like, I think the cloud saves are a big thing forward, especially I believe Forza Horizon 5 is also doing that, because you've got to log in
Cool.
with the Xbox account on the PlayStation side. And so
Mhm.
if you have spent hundreds of hours grinding cars, you'll be able to have that same kind of experience, I believe, on the PlayStation side. So the more of that you can get, the better off you'll be. And I think in the long run, a lot of change coming. But for the third party handheld, this is one that like I'll keep my eye on it and see what happens with it. But I'm more interested in what's coming in the future with the next generation, where it seems like the Xbox Series S is going to be replaced by effectively a Steam Deck Xbox,
Mhm.
and then you'll have the regular premium console that hypothetically would make it easier for developers to develop, or at least not any more difficult than what we've got now, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm excited because it just feels like, okay, Xbox may be going completely third party, right? Like we've talked about that. But the fact that they're giving me reasons to stay in the ecosystem, like these are things that I think about, like having access to all my games no matter where I want to play is a big driver for me. Like that is important to me, and I don't know how many gamers feel that way, but I would hope more and more would feel that way, especially in the age of digital libraries. Like you want that easy access. You want it. Pull out your phone with a backbone. You pull out your PC handheld. Pull out whatever. And I don't know if it's like here's the thing. I've said this. They want the play anywhere to be unanimous with Xbox, and I think they're doing a GDC presentation on it, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So like they're clearly trying to sell developers on it. I don't know how well that's gonna go. I don't think it's gonna go very well. But if they give me the option to have all of their games, some developers like Sega has been a big supporter. Square Enix is getting a bigger support. Like I don't know if it's just like aim for those fringe developers that maybe aren't really like your platform's key demographic, to try to incentivize people to buy it over there as like an added bonus. But
Mhm.
do we ever see a world where Play Anywhere extends to other platforms? Because right now it's
Ooh.
just the Xbox ecosystem, right? PC. I was like, they'd lose so much money on this, but it really isn't Play Anywhere. It's Play Anywhere Xbox.
Yeah, it's play anywhere. I mean, technically, you can play anything anywhere. And to correct myself, by the way, while we're talking about it, Rick called me out. There is no cross progression on the Forza Horizon 5 on the PlayStation side. So clarification there. Sorry about that.
Ooh.
I agree. But I think that you will always see Play Anywhere be exclusive to your browser with the cloud, your TV with the cloud, your Xbox on PC app, and your Xbox consoles. Like I think that's just what it's going to be. Um,
Me
and to
too,
be
but
fair, that's a good value proposition as well. Because if I am just a generic general person that's looking for the easiest way to play their games, and I'm popping around going on business trips, or I'm, visiting family a lot, or I just like the console and PC experience, like Game Pass is the best way to do that still. And I was complaining in the XEP Discord about the experience on a handheld like Windows. They've really got to get dialed in for a better handheld gaming experience, which I know is something that's on the way. And the Xbox app itself has already improved. But they've got to be able to, by the time they release a handheld, even if it's based on Windows, deliver a console style experience like the Steam Deck, where I
mhm.
think I've had to go into the browser settings on the Steam Deck within Linux like twice. Like I've never had to get in there and dabble around with the claw because it's a Windows based handheld. I was poking around in there. I was running
Yep.
BIOS. Like I
Mhm.
was running like a PC, dude. I don't want to do that. I hate doing that. So whenever they can get to the point where they're not having to have people get in there and dabble around and stuff, that's whenever it's really going to take off.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. I think I said it in our Discord when I was chatting about this with some folks where I'm like, I am looking for that. Hey, you're on your PC, but you click the game and it just runs. And like maybe I choose
Yeah.
performance quality. Like it's a console experience. It's not me. Okay, I got to drop the resolution, set the frame rate cap, to
Yep.
say like just go and mess with all these settings, and then like check to make sure everything's running well. Like click FS. Like no, I want that all. I want you to do that for me and just give me the game in a great state.
Which I think, and I said this in my Claw review too. What is a pain in the ass for me and you, other people look at as a benefit, right?
Hmm.
So, like the fact that somebody can go in there and drop the shadow quality down, but up the performance or whatever they're doing, like they're tweaking with these things. People love being able to do that, and I get that to some degree because I've been going in there and it's like I'll kick down the resolution up the frame rate and I'll get 400 FPS, and I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. But I'm with you. I would prefer not to have to do any of that, and to some degree, some games do that, but your mileage varies depending
Hmm.
on the level of the game. Like I know Call of Duty does it well, where they'll optimize really well, but then I'll go into something else and it's totally messed up, and I've got to go in and fix my resolution on the first time I boot it up. It's a pain sometimes.
Rick pointing out in chat saying, assuming the interface just works, for God's sake, let it not be the Xbox Store for PC. At least make it function like the actual Xbox Store. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, in my mind, the Windows Store, the Xbox PC Store is dissolved, and it's just the store that we have on our Xbox consoles. But you just
Yeah.
do it on your PC.
I I mean this when I say it. I hate the Windows Store on PC with a passion.
Me too.
Um, and it sucks because the Xbox Store is just the Windows Store with a skin on it. Like it's not even a real Xbox Store on PC. So they've got to get that fixed where it is truly the Xbox Store. Because I was trying to go in there, like I was playing Avowed on the Claw before Avowed was officially out. Like I was playing on this, like so it
Hmm.
was already a pain. So I go in there, I'm trying to like verify files because it corrupted
Oh,
on me. And I
God.
had to go in and it's like, oh, it can't pull anything from the servers because the game isn't technically like fully available yet. So it doesn't realize that I've got it. So like that was a pain. And then I was going around and just downloading stuff. I hated every second of it. So yeah, just axe all of that and start over, I think, with that. It's horrible.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Well, just the last bit of this report I wanted to talk about. Windows Central, Jez over there was saying that the next gen Xbox consoles will be closer to a PC than ever before. He also stresses that it will continue to support backwards compatibility with previous Xbox generations, and suggests there's still a chance PC storefronts could show up on the console if logistical concerns can be overcome. These consoles are apparently scheduled for 2027, not 2026, as some people were stating. I think that makes a little more sense to me. It doesn't feel like we would be getting new consoles next year. Like it just doesn't have that feel right now. I feel like we would know more about it. 2027 makes a lot more sense to me. I'm still very weary of this whole it's going to have a PC storefronts. No one has made a logistical sense on how that can work financially to me. I think that's more just like pie in the sky. We need something to attract people to our box. But like, I was talking about this like Discord and social media, and I was like, the revenue split doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't Steam or Epic just include a pop-up if you're on like an Xbox console? Hey, go to your desktop and buy this, and we'll give you a $5 off because they'll make more money because they don't have to split it with Xbox for being on their
Yeah.
like literally makes no sense why they would want to be on the Xbox console.
Yeah, it's so like part of this report was that it's going to be more on like Windows architecture, right? So they're going to rebuild the OS to make it more compatible for developers to develop on. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, that's my understanding. This would be that like universal library thing. Like it's going to function console, handhelds,
Yeah.
PCs, whatever, you know.
Because I mean, at that point, my question is, how open do they want to make it out of the box, or is this going to be like how you can sideload Windows onto a Steam Deck and you can do like other things very easily, and like Steam has guides on how to do stuff. Like it's not like it's illegal, like you're jailbreaking an iPod Touch in 2008, but you're also like going above and beyond. So my question is like, how PCE are these next consoles going to be, or is it going to be something where it is that inbox experience? Out of all of the platform holders, I think the Epic is the one that would do it first, just because they
Mhm.
seem to be the ones that are trying to tear down the walls the most. Not to say that Steam isn't being like very consumer friendly and everything, but to your point, it's the same reason why would PlayStation want to put Spider-Man on Xbox? They have no reason to. There's no competition. They're not going to gain anything from it. They're going to lose the exclusivity argument that they have. That's antiquated, sure, but like that's why they have it on there. With Steam, they don't need to sell their games on other like people are playing on PC anyway. What are you talking about? So I think Epic, because there's no way the Epic Store is making money at all. Period. Who's buying stuff there? What if you are? What's wrong with you? So like that's the only way I could see them bringing something over to Xbox is if they were like, hey, we could probably sell more PC games through the Xbox Store than we are right now. So I could see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, Epic, if they're willing to like, they'd have to give a cut to Xbox. Like their percentage would go down, but that might be a benefit to them if they are in that situation where, hey, we're not making money on this store. Because I know a lot of people have been like, oh, I'm not buying Alan Wake 2 until it's on Steam, and then they're like, well, it's not coming to Steam. It's an Epic game, and I'm like, ah, you guys are really like holding that game hostage because I don't get it. And I've talked about this before. Like, I don't get why you can't just click the other icon and play in there. But PC gamers, they're a different breed. So maybe that would be benefit. But Steam is a no-go for me. All right.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense. Okay.
Yeah, Steam would never happen. Yeah. And I mean, like, to Rick's point in the chat, Epic Game Store is an abomination. I mean, I think that it's fine, but I would also prefer Steam because that's where my life is on PC. Like, I have years of PC games that I've built up. Same way I've got Xbox stuff on the console side. So Epic Games, I just think they're the huge disadvantage. But they don't really need money because they just added Crocs to Fortnite. So, I mean, who cares about bringing a storefront and actually selling games when you could have not only Crocs now, but they will start selling charms for the Crocs
Oh my
inevitably. Like
God.
that's going to be a thing. So you can get some Crocs for Peely, dude.
Please no. Please no. Crocs are an abomination. All right. Yes.
Okay, well let's not get ahead of ourselves.
They're
Hold on.
horrible, horrible, horrible footwear.
Those are my trash taken out shoes, dude. What are you talking about? I slide on a pair of Crocs to throw that bag out there.
All right, well, let's move on to story number 2. In a recent report from IGN, a minority shareholder, CEO of AJ Investments, Jiraj Krupa, I butchered that name probably, says they're attempting to organize a protest against Ubisoft outside the company's headquarters, accusing the company of failing to disclose alleged discussions with Microsoft, EA, and others about acquiring its franchises. Ghostly Guides wrote in with a question, says, hypothetically, what IPs do you think Microsoft would look to acquire from Ubisoft? So, Sam, want your feelings. Apparently, there was some discussions. Xbox might want some Ubisoft IP. How are we feeling about that?
I think it's incredibly interesting. And when I heard this story, my immediate thought is like, not what IP Microsoft would want to own, but I think the way that Microsoft would think about this right now is what IP makes sense to pair with our studios? Like, what could we actually do something with where we're going to have to throw down a couple $1 billion and we could actually make something cool? To that end, I'm not really sure where I'd go with it because I feel like the most valuable IP are obviously Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Splinter Cell. Rayman, which I could see Rayman could potentially be doing something interesting, but then I think about like Moon Studios isn't a first party Xbox studio, and I would love to see Moon make a Rayman game. So I'm like, yeah, I couldn't see Microsoft swooping that one up, but maybe I don't know. It's hard to tell, but those are the big dogs that I think anybody would really want.
Yeah, if they were in discussions, it was certainly for Assassin's Creed, some Tom Clancy stuff. Like, they're not gonna go in there and ask for, "Hey, can we get Beyond Good and Evil? Can we get like nobody cares about their small franchises. If they're going for these discussions, it's because they're looking to buy the most valuable IP they can to bolster their library. That said, Xbox, please don't buy anything from Ubisoft. All right, you have
Yeah.
enough. It's done. It's over. You have IP from the things you've already bought that you haven't done anything with. Where is my Banjo Kazooie game? All right, I won't let this go until it happens. But no, in real talk though, like they have IP that is just sitting there that they're not using. So like, what is the point in getting more IP that potentially, oh, we're not going to use that either?
I think it would be so cool. I'm looking at a list of like games that Ubisoft makes just to like jog the memory. Thinking about things that could be bought and then let die for a little while and then bring back whenever technology evolves. I would love to see a Watch Dogs reboot, like just a
Mm,
full ground up, like really like Cyberpunk 2077 grounded level Watch Dogs reboot. I feel like that'd be sick. To Rick's point in the chat, Tom Clancy. I don't think they own like Tom Clancy. Would it be broken out by like, hey, it's Tom Clancy's X Defiant, Tom Clancy's The Division, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell? Like, I don't know how it would break that up. But I could see them doing something interesting with Far Cry. I don't know who would be poised to buy these because like Electronic Arts, I don't think they're killing it right now either. Like I think they're focused on like rebuilding Battlefield, making it good. And then they've got Apex Legends, which I think is on the decline, and they're trying to figure out how to make money on that still. And then they still haven't made a Titanfall game. So like, what are we doing here? I don't know where all these things land. It's almost like Ubisoft is too big to break apart properly and
mhm.
figure out what to do with all of these other ideas because all of these are like just good enough to warrant attention, but then it's like I can't really buy all of them. I don't know, man. It's tricky.
The, Firstly, I'm going to address someone in the chat. Luke, I also want Splinter Cell. All right. I'm waiting for that remake or whatever they're doing. Is it ever coming out? I don't know. So, sure, if Xbox wants to buy Splinter Cell, I'll allow it. I'll allow it. But I see people saying that Ubisoft actually does own all Tom Clancy.
Interesting. Then
Uh,
then absolutely what Rick said, get those rights to Tom Clancy and you could absolutely print. I feel like I don't know why. I don't know how you feel about this. I feel like the only dogs in this game are going to be EA and Microsoft. I don't feel like Sony wants a part of any of this just because, like, what are you going to buy? Assassin's Creed, you have Ghost of Tsushima. Why would you want that?
yeah.
Um,
They could use a shooter, though. Like if they want to buy one of the Rainbow Six or something.
I could, that's a fair point. I could see them buying, but then would that be Tom Clancy?
Yeah,
And then
they
you have
have
to
to get all the
buy,
time. Yeah, and I don't want
you
that
got
to
to get all this
happen
stuff.
because then they
Yeah.
would
So, like, it's
exclusive
very
it. Yeah.
unwieldy, but I mean, I guess they could slice and dice as much as they wanted, right?
I'm just wondering who's gonna get Immortals Phoenix Rising. You know,
I mean, I was wondering who was going to get Zombie U personally. What's
it's
going to happen with Zombie
I
U, dude?
didn't even know that was a game. Uh, I also want a Rayman game. I do like Rayman. All right, Splinter Cell
Yeah.
and Rayman, my two favorite from Ubisoft. Yeah, I don't know where they go. I don't know if anything happens. I'm still of the camp that I think Tencent is probably the most likely place that Ubisoft ends
Yeah.
up. So
Yeah, I think they'll end up just. I think somebody will acquire Ubisoft in whole if this thing actually ends up going down, and then I do think it'll be like a Vivendi style situation of like not a hostile takeover, but more so like a hey, we lost here, take all of our stuff, and then do with it what you will. My only hope is that like the games stay like get good, stay good, whatever you want to call them, like Far Cry, whatever's next for that. Like I think there's a reason to keep all of these legacy IP, but they all need work to get them back to where they need to be. You know, specifically talking about Far Cry, where like six felt like a step back for a lot of people, but Far Cry is great. And then the Division, you had Heartland, you had the mobile game, both of those got canceled. What are we doing here? You've blown so much money on this, but it's still so good. They got to figure that stuff out.
and I've said it before, but Ubisoft, you're too big. You got like 22,000 employees. You need to shrink a
A lot.
lot. You need to stop making like yearly or biannual franchise. Like give teams like 4 or 5 years to make an Assassin's Creed, a Far Cry, a Rainbow Six, but like give them time to make a good quality game instead of your current approach, was is like sevens every year is good enough for us.
You need to take a team and give them 10 years to make a sailing game, and then that's what needs to
No,
happen.
no. Oh yeah, where's Skull and Bones going?
Yeah, well, I mean that's the real question. It's not going anywhere. I don't
Skull
think.
and Bones has lasted longer than Concord.
It did. It's still getting new content.
It's wild. All right, well, let's talk about story number 3. The Oblivion remake reveal might be imminent. This is according to notable leaker Nate the Hate. The Oblivion remake is apparently set to be revealed in the coming weeks, a claim that Video Games Chronicle has also corroborated. Both sources say the game will arrive before June 2025, and I actually just saw Nate the Hate update this and said that it will be revealed and released in April.
I think that's so odd. Is that weird to you?
Yes. I was
Like,
I have a tangent to go on.
yeah, I mean, I just think it's so strange to announce something like a month and a half, give or take, before the big showcase. And I feel like Oblivion remake or remaster would be immediately like the star of the show with a showcase. So why are we what are we doing putting it out in April hypothetically? Like I don't know anything, but like if it does come out in April, number one, cool, I'm gonna play it. Number two, why? That feels like a good summer game. I don't know, it's weird.
This should be a June game in my opinion. Like April is the last place you need to release Oblivion. You have South of Midnight coming April 8th. You have Expedition 33, which looks to be a very big get for Game Pass. Then you have Doom coming in May. Like, why would you want to shoot yourself in the foot with all of these games you're propping up and be like, oh, here's an Oblivion remake at a time you don't need the Oblivion remake? Like, Nintendo was really good at this. They finish their games and hold them for months until until they're like, hey, we're gonna release it over here. Like, this game's been done for ages, but now's the time to put it out, right? Like, there's no need for Oblivion right now. Like, hold it, wait a few months, release it when you don't have another game that is going to jump right on top of. Xbox does this constantly. They did it with Forza Horizon 5 and Halo, and I don't understand the logic behind these things.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was looking at the release dates on IGN for what was coming out in April, and it's so weird because you've got The Last of Us Part 2 remastered on PC, Days Gone remastered coming to PS5, Forza Horizon 5 coming to PS5, and then like you said, Expedition 33. It's just a very odd eclectic list. But then I wonder, because it seems like they've been sitting on this for a while, right? Like it seems like Oblivion's been something they've had done for the most part, and it's probably just had some polish getting put on it. But you know, we've got Doom in May, and then you've got I'm trying to wonder, like, are they getting away from Elden Ring Night Rain? But at that point, June seems open once again. Like Death Stranding 2 and Oblivion aren't competing with each other. And then you've got Tony Hawk in July, once again, not really competing, but like it's coming to Game Pass. I don't know, man. I would go June as well. I think that June's where you need to go.
Is everyone so scared of
I don't know. I'm
I
gone.
don't know what happened.
I don't
Is
know.
everyone so scared of GTA 6 that they just won't put anything near the fall? Like I don't get it.
I mean, do we still think GTA 6 is happening this year?
For our fantasy critic and my individual fantasy critics, we better sure hope it is. But
I mean, it very well could. I don't know.
I have yet to, like, they seem pretty confident that it is. Like they've done nothing but say that it's coming this year. They delayed Fable, which like maybe Xbox knows it's coming this year, and they're like, hey, let's just push Fable out a little bit, like, you know. But again, you delayed Fable. Put Oblivion where Fable was gonna be. And like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with that?
And I mean, you know, to Alpaca Tom's comment in the chat, the Sky Oblivion mod is coming as well. And I feel like anybody that's like dying for an Oblivion remake would absolutely be willing to go out and do that. I don't think anybody else is really dying for an Oblivion remake. Like the general gaming population right now has plenty of stuff to play. It will be good and it will get played. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't really see that being something that it's like we got to release this immediately. We need this for the spring season. No, you don't. You don't really need that because you've had a really good spring so far between Avowed and then you got South of Midnight coming up. You got new Call of Duty content on the way. Like there's tons of stuff. You don't really need to have this big of an addition, in my opinion.
No, there's no need to put it anytime soon. Like we're swamped with games. I'm sitting here like can I finish what I'm playing before South of Midnight and Expedition 33? Like, there's too much going on, and that's like, there's more games to be announced. I have a list of games that are scheduled for this year that I'm like, I have no idea when these are coming out, and like they could come out in the next 2 months, like FBC Firebreak from Remedy, a bunch
Yeah.
of Trails, the Trails remake. I'm still waiting for, and Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, which they keep teasing, like they seem like they're getting ready to reveal something like in the next couple months. So these are things that I'm just like, we have plenty of games. We need to slow down.
Yeah, we are good. And you reminded me of South of Midnight coming out in May. Like I'm going to be
April,
playing Assassin's
April
Creed. Oh,
8th.
did I say May?
Yeah.
Yeah, like next month, whatever month it is. Um, but I'll be playing Shadows up until that is South of Midnight, and then I'm sure that something else is going to come. Like it's just a never ending cycle. So yeah, I agree. Too many games right now.
Yep. All right.
I did
Well,
mention Doom, Rick. Rick's calling me out. I
yeah.
said Doom's coming in May. I said Doom. Come on
Yeah,
now.
well, I mentioned Doom as well. Yeah, no, no one, none of us are forgetting Doom. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm not forgetting Doom.
I'm like super excited for Doom. That game's gonna be amazing. All right. Well, our last story for the day is about Microsoft putting their Copilot AI into Xbox. So, as part of Microsoft's and this comes from what article am I reading? IGN. As part of Microsoft's ongoing efforts to implement artificial intelligence into basically everything, the company is preparing to introduce its AI Copilot into your Xbox experience to give you gaming advice, help you remember where you left off last time you played, and perform other tasks. Announced today, Copilot for Gaming will be rolled out to Xbox insiders through the Xbox mobile app sometime soon for testing. If you're not already aware, Copilot is Microsoft's existing AI chatbot that's already integrated into Windows. The gaming version will have a handful of features at launch. You can ask it to install games on your Xbox for you. Uh, you can also ask it about your play history in case you forgot what you were doing, achievements, library, or for a recommendation of what to play next. You'll be able to speak to Copilot for Gaming directly through the Xbox app while you're playing, and it will serve you answers in the same way Copilot currently does via Windows. Sam, how are we feeling about AI coming into Xbox?
So, in my opinion, this is basically the same as that thing that PlayStation has that no one uses, where like it'll like monitor your screen, and if you get stuck, you can get help from people online or whatever. It'll assess the situation and like assist you along the way. This sounds like a shoehorned AI version of that. Is it something I'll use? Probably not. Is it something anybody will use? Probably only the people that care about AI like a whole lot, and they're really trying to seek this out. Um, I like the idea. I just struggle with the idea of if somebody's playing something like Age of Mythology on PC and they can't beat a boss, which I think is one of the examples they
Hmm.
have in the trailer. Why would I not just open up the thing and be like, how to beat this Google or how to beat this Reddit? You know what I mean? Like that's just what people are going to do if they're playing on PC. I will say I've been doing an experiment in my own personal life, integrating ChatGPT and Copilot into like my everyday. So like instead of me getting up and doom scrolling for 20 minutes, I'll be like, hey, give me the top 5 headlines of the past 3 hours. And then it'll shoot me a list of like headlines, things to know, and then links to go read more. Copilot has like this daily AI podcast thing where a robot voice reads to me and like tells me what's going on.
Interesting.
I've been trying to like get more integrated into it and use it in the way that I think is like the humane way to do it, of like supplementing my everyday life. Like, hey, what's the weather going to be like? I have a Chat GPT button on my iPhone now. Like I changed this to a Chat GPT button. Um, that being said, there's so many things that are trying to get like pushed in that I'm like, you don't need that. What are you talking about? That's not how you use that. So I'll be interested to see how it evolves, but it's definitely not something you need right now by any way.
Yeah, listen, I've been very outspoken about how I don't like the AI future in game development. This
Yeah,
I have absolutely no problem with. I don't understand why
totally.
anyone would get outraged or upset about an optional feature that you don't have to interact with. And to your point, Sam, I have used that PlayStation because you'll click it and it'll say like there's little clips and it'll be like, oh, how do you beat this boss? Or sometimes it's just like, where is a trophy, like how to get it like
Yeah.
in this level or something. And I've actually used that. Like I've been like, oh, I can't find this one bot in Astrobot. So like you boot it up and then they just someone shows you where it is. I'm like, okay, great. Like that's the same thing as me Google sitting here Googling, hey, where's this last bot that
Yeah.
I've searched everywhere for? To me, this feels no different than anyone. Like, you get stuck, you go to your computer or your phone and you look up a guide and how to beat it. Now they're just simplifying that process and giving you the information available at your fingertips. I'm also someone that's very integrated into Microsoft. Like, my default is Bing. Like, I have that search. So
Oh
like,
my God, what's wrong with
I
you?
I get those Microsoft rewards points, bro. So my default's Bing. So Copilot, like anytime I ask any question into Bing, it gives me the answer right there.
Yeah,
Sometimes not very accurate. So like they still got
right.
work to do, but I don't really see how this is any issue. Like maybe I'll use it, maybe I won't, but it does save me the trouble of pulling up a browser, pulling up my phone.
Yeah, no, I think there's definitely use for it, and I think there's use for Copilot overall. But I'll be interested to see how they end up actually implementing it for the gaming side, and if anybody even uses it. But it does sound interesting for like the navigation front. It's almost like the Xbox Hello or whatever the thing was. Whenever you did with the Xbox One, my camera's overheating, so I'm gonna leave it off. But it's like whenever the Xbox, where it was like, "Hey, Xbox, open up whatever app," and you could just
Hmm.
use voice to do whatever you needed to. So I think that's kind of where I see this technology going. Is if Copilot's integrated in at a very deep level with the next Xbox, it could be really cool to use your voice to navigate again. But we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I used the Connect for those features. I would say, "Hey, Xbox, go to Netflix or whatever," and when they did, I would say, "Thank you," and then I'd get made fun of by people that heard me. Captain Logan in the chat saying, "I too use Bing. Bing users stand united." Captain Logan, happy to see it. But that's actually gonna do it for the show today, Sam. So your camera overheated at the perfect time there, so we can hop on out of here. If you want to tell everyone where they can find you, my friend.
Yeah, you can find me at jampacksam.com. I've got my links over there now, and we are good to go. You can find all my stuff linked there. And yeah, I've got to get a lot of good stuff coming. We've got some exciting unboxings on the way, some new stuff that I
Mm.
can't talk about. Assassin's Creed Shadows next week. So yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Yes, we'll be talking all about Assassin's Creed Shadows on next week's show, so come back for that. You can find me at the Muffin Mon everywhere. You can also find us at Save the Game Media over on Blue Sky to stay up to date with all of our latest content. Until next week,